Welcome to the third edition of MYSD Spectrum, your gateway to the latest developments and success stories in youth empowerment, social welfare, and community development. As we continue to build a more inclusive and prosperous society, we shine the spotlights on the innovative initiatives and impactful programs driving positive change in Lagos State, of course, under the visionary leadership of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu through the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. We're witnessing a brighter future unfold where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. So on today's show, we're delving into the heart of family social services. You know, last week we spoke about the adoption, foster unit, yes, and of course, it was a great time on the show. Today we'll be exploring the vital work of the Family Social Services Division. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in this, and of course we'll be, shining our light on how they're dedicating themselves to fostering healthy, cohesive, and stable family units. So join me, your host. Of course, my name is Akan Usen, as we explore, educate, and inspire you. Do me one favor, get ready to share your thoughts, and if you have questions, feel free to send them in later on in the show. Let's continue this journey together. One more time, welcome to MYSD Spectrum. Of course, as the show progresses, we'll be giving you traffic feeds to keep you abreast of the traffic situation in and around the different parts of town. At this time, from our big screens right here in the studio, yes, our live camera updates, I can tell you it's a very busy one. For those coming in from, let's pull that up real quick, those coming in all the way from the Maryland end, trying to connect or Jota via the Odoyalaro Bridge. Of course, we are aware of that road rehabilitation ongoing, the damaged expansion joint being fixed. So contra flow is in progress. So it is quite heavy from what we can see. But it's not a standstill movement. It's, it's crawling, so to say. So I can spot a few traffic managers doing their bit to make sure things move as smoothly as possible. On the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, things seem to be moving really fine from what we can see. I have a view of the Lausa pedestrian bridge right there on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Things are not bad at this time. Bagada, however, for those trying to connect the Third Mainland Bridge coming, it is a busy one from what I can see. I have a view of precisely somewhere around the Sunday Ogunyade end. So for those trying to do maybe connect Third Mainland Bridge, yes, well, you don't have a problem. It's still looking good. But for those heading onwards the Olokpomeji end, you will definitely encounter that bit of traffic information. We'll give you more feeds to let you know how things are looking like in and around other parts of town. But joining us now are two very distinguished guests from the Family Social Services Division. And, they'll be helping us shed light on this very important department, so to say, the division. We have Mr. Sesan Kayode. He is Deputy Director from the Family Social Services. And we also have joining us Mrs. Adebowale Hamdallah, Deputy Director, Family Social Services. You're both welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would want you to come closer to the microphone. Thank you so much, because I know a lot of people really want to hear what we have for them. I must say, welcome to the show one more time. We're excited to have you both share your expertise and insights on your division's initiatives, challenges, and triumphs. So straight away, we'll be diving right in to explore the remarkable work you're doing to strengthen families and communities. So I will be starting with you, Mr. Sesan Kayode. Can you tell us a bit about the Family Social Services Division, and what is it all about? What's the structure like?
I thank you very much for having me in the studio. The fact remains that Family Social Services is a unit in the social welfare department.
Social welfare department, okay.
That, in fact, the whole Lagos State will need our services.
Definitely.
For instance, it's a unit that promotes and encourages stability in the family. If you look at the population...
So that's like the main objective.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look at the population of Lagos State, when we have large concentration of people, probably social problems will occur.
Definitely.
Especially when the problem is affecting the family setting, whereby perhaps it might be due to economic situation, loss of job and all that, and both parents at loggerheads and the children are being affected.
Yes.
So the fact remains that once a problem is identified in a particular family, whereby, let's go a separate way and all that, there is opportunity to come forward and approach the ministry by social welfare department and look into it. More importantly, in order to bring back that cohesiveness in a family, because what does a family gain by separating and separation leading to divorce? So there is opportunity to come forward and establish that family setting, family stability, so that the children involved,
because most times they're on the receiving end.
Exactly, that is the issue I'm trying to. So when we talk about family social services, we are talking about a proactive approach
to
the preservation of family stability. So everyone in the society needs it, and we are open to welcoming them to solve their problems for them.
Lovely. So I'd like to set something straight. So a lot of times when we see a man, a woman, like in urban areas, especially in Lagos, most especially, you hear them fighting and say, "Jaloba, human rights." So they're actually talking about your department, but they don't know the proper name. So they just Jaloba, human rights, and in the end, it's social. It's your department that actually handles it. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct in the sense that is the more reason why the state government, through the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, has created 22 welfare offices.
Wow.
That covers the nook and cranny of Lagos State.
Interesting.
From Badagry to Ojo to Mushin to Island, Etiosa, Aja, Ibebuleki, Epe. We have 22 welfare offices across the length and breadth of Lagos State. So the fact remains that wherever you stay, you don't need to go that far before you can access such service.
Okay.
So we have 22 welfare offices across Lagos State.
All right. So I'm curious, how, Mrs. Hamdallah, how does this how do you address family disputes? And are there like, do you have like do you have strategies? What strategies do you use to reconcile these estranged couples, like you mentioned? How do you do that?
Thank you so much, coordinator. Like he rightly said, family is the bedrock of any society.
Yes.
For a peaceful and harmonious family, because it brings peaceful society with the desire to change the transformation values of the society. If the society is in disparity, there's going to be a problem for every members of the society, especially the children. Our children are the major ingredients in every family. If you fail, if your family fails, then the society will be at a risk. Everybody will be at a risk.
Everybody will be affected.
So when there are cases, that's what, like what is said, we have social welfare offices in local governments and NCDs all over the local government in Lagos State. We have about two of them that are headed by the assistant directors.
Okay.
Where when a working client comes in regarding matters regarding the family disputes, or the first thing we want to know their children in, especially when the children involved. We want to see to the best interest of those children, so that those children will not be affected in any way regarding their welfare and their well-being. So when a working client comes in regarding, it could be a man, it could be a woman, and you come in.
Oh, it doesn't happen, but most times it's the woman that goes.
No, it's a two-way.
Okay.
Some men do come in, just because they want to be responsible in regards to their children. Yes. At least it's not just the female gender basis alone. Men do comes in when they have issues. Women do comes in when they have issues. So when you come in and you said, the father of my children are not maintaining these children, you give us your narrative of what have happened, what transpired. We heard. We have to call the other party. We invite. We do the first thing we do is to call in.
Okay.
So when we're able to get a response from the other party, then we fix a date for a joint meeting.
Okay.
The other party have said we cannot make a decision in absentia of the other person.
The other party has to be
there.
Present.
So when you are present on the date, and if we're not able to reach out by calling in, we sent in a letter of invitation from the office, inviting the person, the other party, come and tell us your own story of the matter, so that the life of these children will not be in danger. So when you come in, we want to hear your own stories, we want to know what happened, then from there our intervention comes in. It's not for anything, but for the interest of those children, because we believe that when the children are settled, we are all settled.
Okay, so where I have a feeling that there will be some sort of overlap. What if there are instances of, say, domestic abuse? I don't want to say sexual violence now, domestic abuse and all that. Is there how do you resolve that?
Yes, cases of domestic abuse have been addressed greatly. If it involves the child,
okay.
The first thing is social welfare. We with the ministry, we do is we take the child away from that environment.
Okay.
The state governments have orphanage shelter zone for children, where the children can be placed pending when the condition of the home will be resolved. Thereby, with the perpetrator will be called, invited, and the matter will subsequently be reported at the nearest police station, so that the perpetrator of such abuse will not go scot-free.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sesan Kayode. So she just talked about how she mentioned that the children will be taken out of that, that toxic situation. Yes, abuse. Yes. So, but are there measures to make sure that justice is served if it's seen that there's any wrongdoing?
Sure.
How do you go about that?
Of course, that is the more reason why the police, once the domestic issue has been confirmed, take the matter to court, and the rest is left to court to make their pronouncement. But meanwhile, our focus will be on the child or the children involved, getting them into very good orphanage, going to school, having their life calm and doing very well, while the issue in court is resolved somehow. So, but our major focus has to do with the children of the marriage, so that in a situation of that confusing situation, they are really enjoying their life, going to school, doing very well. That is the focus of social welfare.
And they it doesn't affect them, their education,
emotionally,
their psyche, emotions, and all that.
Psychologically or otherwise.
That's so good to know. All right, a quick detour. Let's see what the roads are looking like at this time. Traffic update from the Ejigbo axis. Presently, we have busy movement at Ikotun, Ojodo, Old Garage, all busy. But I understand that Synagogue Inward Hostel, Ilewe, Yanejibo down to NNPC, just a steady movement. NNPC linking MYSpectrum, however, cool and calm. Meanwhile, we have an impediment. Yes, there was a report of an impediment at NNPC Inwards MYSpectrum intersection. But as at the time of this update, the mechanic was already working on it, not really causing any backlog, and all the other areas in this zone still looking okay, while we have traffic managers doing the needful. So of course we know traffic is dynamic. If anything changes as regards this update, I will definitely bring you up to speed. Yes, we are talking, placing our focus, of course, on the Family Social Services Division Department right here in the Social Welfare Department in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. And we have two very wonderful guests with us who have been helping us, shine light on this wonderful division. I'd like to, veer a bit. So there's this funny topic that has been, it trends on social media once in a while. That's paternity denial. Yes, so this is Adebowale Hamdallah. How do you handle cases of paternity denial or maybe paternity dispute? Let's just take it to resolve custody and all that. How do you?
Yes, thank you so much. There are cases of paternity denial and paternity disputes that we do handle in our various offices.
Okay.
And these matters, before I go on, we have family courts that handle matters regarding children and family matters.
So they don't go to the regular courts?
No.
Okay.
The family court is a specialized court for children matters.
Okay.
You know, children, and it's the court has different design. To the
from the regular courts. Okay.
We have the family court at the magistrate level and at the high court.
Okay.
We have about 26 family courts.
Wow.
Both the high court and the magistrate courts. And the court sits primarily for matters regarding children.
Okay.
They have their court dates. So when there are cases of paternity denial, disputes, the person wants to hear the story, wants to know what happens. And since we cannot, these cases cannot be resolved in our office, so we take the matter to court, to the family courts.
Okay.
So when you file the case at the family courts, you make your application, the matter, then the judge or the magistrate will now make an order for a DNA test.
Who will pay for this DNA test?
Both parties.
Both parties, okay.
Both parties, because they are both seeking to know who, because it may be a dispute. Sometimes it could be a dispute. It could be about 2-3 women, 2-3 men vying for just one child.
One child.
Yes. And I've seen
that's interesting.
We've done a case as a woman comforts that I want to know the father of my child. Why? Because maybe by the time she was handing a relationship, she's not aware that she's pregnant.
And she got into another
relationship. So in between, she has that conscience and felt, I want to know. I'm not so sure. And at the end of the day, we do. And there are some cases too that even the man who said, I want to really know if this child is mine. So these are cases that we take to court after we get getting all the parameters, getting the social investigation and the rest. Then we put up our reports of application to the court, and then the court will send in make an order for a DNA test to be conducted on the child, and then when the result, both parties with the social welfare officer will all go to the forensic lab where the test will be done. The date you have to for collection, all parties to go there so that they won't look at
which forensic lab. Do you have a specific because for cases of
yes, the Lagos State government used to we have one, but unfortunately we have a forensic lab that is government designated, yes, that they will send it to. It is not hot, it is from the court.
Yes.
Once the court make an order, you go to specific place.
A specific case because of the fidelity of the results and all that.
So when the result comes, they will call us from they call the officer, the social welfare officer, and then you inform other parties. We all go to collect the results, and so that on that court date, the result will be presented to the.
It's not like the person can see the results prior to that date.
Nobody sees the report. Even once they take the reports to the results to the court that day, the report will be given to the court registrar. He will show the courts, show the whole court, everybody. Is it sealed? It is still. Once it's sealed, then you give it back to the magistrate or the judge, which should now be open in the presence of everybody. So whatever that is read out, that is the version.
Interesting. Really interesting.
So it makes things easy.
Yes.
So there will not be doubt. There will not be sort of anger or issues with anyone.
Okay, dear listener, I'm sure this, of course, is a subject that you'd want to, weigh in on. If you want to ask any question, feel free to connect with us. 080-991-20777. You can also call 091-538-77127. Any of this will do. If perhaps you're not driving and WhatsApp is your avenue of choice, you could also, reach us via WhatsApp. Send a message via 080 991 20777. We'd love to hear from you. Mr. Sesan Kayode, now she just spoke about, paternity denial and dispute and the measures taken to resolve custody and, these issues. So I have been reliably informed that you also are involved with your unit, the social services division department is also involved with premarital and marriage counseling. Is that true?
The fact remains is that what really happened is that we're supposed to be doing it.
Okay.
But since the present administration, I could recall we were in a meeting that, you people have a lot
of work.
Now, intending couples to you.
To you.
Don't you think will be too much? So it's still in the pipeline. Whether to accept it
or
not. But I tell you, it could have been of good importance in the sense that any young couple coming into marriage, they need that counseling from experienced people to tell them what it is.
Before going in.
Because marriage, you're handed over the certificate. You never can tell how it will end.
Yes.
So when they go through that premarital counseling, they get to know the nitty-gritty of what marriage is all about. But I think it is the local government up to now that still handles it. We are yet to take off.
Oh, okay.
It's still in the pipeline.
Okay, so it's sort of overlapping duties. The local government, and then you, all means to an end. Just like what I was talking about in aspects of where you have domestic abuse, because I actually had someone telling me that she had an issue with her husband, and they were actually told to come report to the DSVA, that's Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. Now, the scenario you were painting for me, Mrs. Hamdallah, was similar to what they were actually when we had someone from that agency, being the how will I put it, the go-between, trying to patch up things between them and all that, So, I believe it's all for the good of the Gaussians.
When you consider the population in Lagos.
Yes.
Sometimes all these issues overlap.
Yes.
So if you could go to DSVA, you get the result.
You get the results. If you come to
MYSD,
you get the results.
You are talking of over 20 million people that inhabit Lagos State.
Indeed. Okay, so we'll come back to the children because the child is, I believe the child is at the center of it all. So are there initiatives in place? I'll be directing my question to you, Mrs. Hamdallah. What are there initiatives in place to protect children from abuse? Now, how do you collaborate with other agencies to achieve this goal?
Thank you so much. Let me just brief you on the matters regarding children.
Yes.
And the services that were provided by the family social services. Aside from the family services, we do render services on juvenile welfare services.
Okay.
There are children that are beyond parental control that are brought to the offices, in which we counsel them, and then we feel they have any delinquent act.
Like antisocial behavior.
There's a way we correct them. And there are some that are in conflict with the law that are being placed into our correctional centers. We have correctional center for boys, we have the one for girls.
Yeah, I was actually coming to that, but it's all good, yes.
So the cases, the strategies put in place for children that are being abused.
Yes.
Is that any child that we found, because there's what we call zero tolerance to child abuse
in Lagos State.
In Lagos State, and we have sort of people whistleblowers for child protection for people that abuses children.
Yes.
Once they give us the data, the information, the next thing is the social welfare officer will go to the scene of incidents to get adequate information.
Yeah.
And once we're able to verify that it is a case of abuse, you make the first attempt for you to report to the nearest police station.
Okay.
So that you will be detailed with a police officer to the scene of events. You take that child away, because that is the
first of all
the first thing, so that child, because anything can happen, because once the child is not there, then you will not be able to, make a case in court. So once you do that, you place the child in a safe home, then you go back to court. You file the matter in court, then the perpetrator will be summoned to the police to face the warrant of the court and explain the reasons behind the abuse. So if you, so from there we will get more detailed information into the background of the child. Maybe some of the children were brought from outside the states to come and be of help. Some were taken from their parents from the village, stating that they want to send them to school in Lagos. By the time they get to Lagos, they start using them as house help, and then abuse start coming. So with that, and then most of these cases are being reported by the people within the environment,
neighbors and all that.
And the rest. They will just text us, or when they cannot take it any longer, they have to inform the social welfare officer closest to where they stay.
All right. So just tying it, I have a question on WhatsApp. Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, madam. On adoption, it's so difficult to get an orphanage that has adoptable kids. I have registered since 2021 till now. I haven't gotten any. Please, what can I do? This is from Funke. So who will address this particular question?
Well, let me say something. The cases of for once you seek for an approval from the ministry on cases of adoption.
Yes.
The adoption unit will have briefed the adopter properly on how to go about it. So I believe the prospective adopter must have been briefed properly. So he or she or he, sometimes it's just single parents, or sometimes it's the both couple. So they will have been given list of orphanages home in Lagos State, because the social welfare, family social services monitor all the orphanages in Lagos State.
All the orphanages?
Yes, in Lagos State. They registered with us, we monitor them, there's a unit, so that if there's cases of a children that is there, we need to do our social inquiry so that we know the available disposition for that child.
Okay, so but how do you monitor how do you determine the best course of care for children in these institutions? What's the process of monitoring and supervising these orphanages, Mr. Sesan Kayode?
The fact remains that the children in the orphanages have been monitored on monthly basis.
Monthly basis, okay.
That is one reason why for every social welfare office that we have mentioned, 22 has some orphanages attached to that unit.
Okay.
So every child that comes in, they must know.
Okay.
And for those children in the orphanages they are supervising, on monthly basis, they need to come up with update report so that you can't have a baby of 6 months and before you know it, he's 9 years old. So the question will be asked, what have you been doing so far?
Yes.
So with the present administration, I tell you, a lot of work has been done in this regard, to the extent that within 3 months, the ministry will call for update report on each child in the orphanage, so that the issue of preventing institutionalization of these children will be at barest minimum. So we do that on monthly basis.
So talking about the grassroots, how does your division engage with local communities to raise awareness about the importance of family welfare and social services?
Thank you. I think the assignment has been given to the heads of units. You remember we mentioned welfare offices across Nook and Cranny of Lagos State.
Yes.
So it behoves on each head of, let's say, Badagry. Badagry social welfare office, whoever heads the place, supposed to get across to the markets, women and men and old, probably on quarterly basis, meetings with them, probably advertising what they are doing. Probably Lagos could be so big, and some may not even know what you are doing.
Exactly.
So that forum, that opportunity is given to them, that reach to the KBC, reach to the market and women, advertise and create sensitization awareness about what you do in your unit. And when you need help or assistance or logistics, then you let the ministry
Reach
know.
out.
Yes, there's a collaboration in addition to that.
Yes.
There's a collaboration between the social welfare officers and some units in the local government.
Okay.
The Department of
Network.
Department, no, We have the Child Protection Network.
Okay.
We have a department of Agric.
Okay.
The HODI. We always have it because they relate with the CDC,
Okay.
the grassroots, the community
Yes.
development.
Okay.
So they normally, they give us a feedback
They
of
sort
what
of have
we
a
discuss. We
deeper
always reach with them, and we always have a stakeholder meetings with them. We have a dialogue with the people, the other units in the local government, the chairman, because I remember if there's a case of any child abuse or any case of abandonment, the chairman, welfare come on, your child don't come here. So those are the kind of relationship we collaborate. We have that good relationship. So that's why we have our officers in the local governments and LCDs across the states.
Okay, so this question will be for the both of you. Do you have any success stories, or I know, and definitely division has made impact, but I'd love to hear any stories, any personal success stories that the department has made in promoting family cohesion, stability, and let's see any future plans for expansion or improvement.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We have our success stories. Most our success stories it's not all the cases that goes to court. We do reconcile some of our cases. It's only cases that we felt maybe
both parties refuse
that you have to
escalate
go to court for proper adjudication. And we have a success story of reintegrating. There are some lost and found children on the road. That family are even lost hope of finding them. Our officer were able to do social inquiry to trace these children back.
That's a lot of investigative work. Wow.
So we're able to reintegrate these children back into their home, their community, that they were like, we never knew that this boy is still, or this girl is still
alive.
So these are our success stories.
Great. So, anything to add, sir?
So if I may add to it, the correctional centers we have for the boys in Oregon, and
that's under your purview too.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
For the boys in Oregon and special correctional center for girls in Deraba. For those who have been released for some time now have not come back.
Wow.
That makes zero on recidivism. When you say recidivism, that means they come back second time, third time. So for 4 years now, you hardly see one that has been released to come back again, and that is a success story.
So even when they are released, is there any? Do you still keep tabs on them? Yeah.
Yes, we have that department called Human Institution Unit that takes it up for the next 2 years to make sure that things are okay with them. They do not go back to their old ways.
A great one, a great time on the show. I was going to ask, I said future plans, expansion, improvement, but of course I know if that's that would have definitely be passed through the official channels to let us know. But it's been a very insightful and eye-opening time on the show. I must say I had a very great time. Thank you very much, Mr. Sesan, Kayode, and Mrs. Adebowale, Hamdallah. I definitely am looking forward to having you on another edition of this show, MYSD Spectrum. I hope that will be possible.
Sure.
Most definitely. All right, dear listener. Yes, I am sure you also learned so much on the show. This show will make a return same time next week. That's all for today's edition of MYSD Spectrum. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and exploration. A big thank you to Adeola Olabisi, Director, Public Affairs, MYSD, the Minister of Youth and Social Development. To our executive producer, Taya Kunli, a very big thank you. And dear listener, remember, the cornerstone of a brighter future is social development. And together we can build a more inclusive and prosperous society. Do stay tuned for more updates, insights, and of course, not forgetting success stories from the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Until next time, keep shining your light and making a difference in your community. My name is Akan Usen, saying goodbye.